Right, so I'm out on the bike today, just rolling through town and some open roads, and something's been on my mind. We've got bikes now with 200 horsepower, launch control, rider modes, wheelie control, angle and ABS. But here's the thing, are these bikes actually too fast for the roads we're riding? Stick with me, we're going to unpack this properly, from real road riding to speed limits, cameras, potholes, and whether middleweight bikes of old had it all right all along. So, let's talk about the power creep. Let's be honest, horsepower inflation is a real thing. 10 years ago, a 1000cc superbike had around 170 brake horsepower. Now, some are pushing over 210 horsepower. But the roads haven't changed. If anything, they've got slower. Average speed cameras, mobile vans, and 20 mile per hour zones all over the place. So who's actually using all this power? The reality is, on most UK roads, you might use 40% of your bike's capability on a really good day. It's like owning a racehorse and only walking it around the garden. Let's talk about real road conditions versus race tech. Where do we actually ride? I'm dodging potholes, slowing for roundabouts, filtering in traffic, and tiptoeing through wet, greasy tarmac half the year. The bike underneath me can do 0 to 60 in a decent rate, but in reality I'm barely touching that performance unless I'm on a track or risking my license. These bikes are incredible machines, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I think, is this bike made for the road, or is it just there to sell specs? And in many ways there seems to be this kind of psychological trap. Here's where it gets interesting, because it's not just about the performance, it's about pressure. You get a modern superbike and suddenly you feel like you should be riding it hard. You're not just using it properly unless you're pinning it out of bends or doing silly speeds. But what if you don't want to ride like that? What if you just want to cruise? Take it in the ride, enjoy the bike without feeling like it's judging you. That's why I think so many riders are starting to go back to middleweight bikes, retro twins and smaller capacity machines. They're actually usable, they are fun, they are real. Now of course, we also have the cost of insurance and everyday use, and it's not just performance, it's sheer cost. You insure a 200 brake horsepower machine in the UK, and unless you're over 35 with a clean history, you're looking at a very hefty premium. Then you've got expensive tyres, service intervals, fuel consumption, plus you're constantly paranoid about speed traps. All for a bike you can't fully stretch unless you're on a track day or even abroad. Makes you wonder, are we buying the right bikes for our actual lives? So, what makes a good road bike? For me, it's not raw power, it's balance. Smooth throttle, having a decent mid-range, a certain amount of comfort, light in weight, and handling that doesn't punish you. Bikes like the Yamaha MT-07 or the Honda CB650R or the Triumph Trident 660, honestly they've got enough for 90% of riders, even for 90% of the roads. And when you're not fighting the bike or trying to tame 180 horses, you actually enjoy the ride more. It's not slower, it's just smarter. So, should we really rethink power? I think more and more riders are starting to rethink the whole horsepower obsession. Manufacturers are as well, and in a way, you're seeing more mid-capacity adventure bikes, naked bikes with less peak power but better all-round performance. Maybe we're hitting a kind of maturity in the biking world, where instead of just chasing numbers, we're asking, what actually works for me on my roads and furthermore in my life? Because let's face it, if you're constantly frustrated that you can't use the bike, maybe the bike isn't the problem. So what do you think? Are today's motorcycles too powerful for real world roads, or is it just about picking the right tool for the job? Drop your thoughts for me in the comments. What do you ride? How have you downsized? Do you regret going big? And if you enjoyed this ride along, you like real conversations about riding, not just hype, give the video a thumbs up and a follow or a subscribe. Remember, it's not just about the destination, it's also about the journey. Ride smart, ride safe, and remember, it's not about your bike can do, it's about what it lets you enjoy. This has been Angel Talk. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.